leave the place or we flush you out. And that is our commitment to making sure that we rescue these sites. Across the country, as per the interaction with the lands minister, 9 of the forest reserves are taken over by illegal miners. 3 of them, the forest reserves, are in Ashanti. And the key thing or the red flag here is that usually when they take over these forest reserves, they are armed to the teeth. So they are in there prepared with guns and all the things you can think of in these forest reserves. So we gave them a 2-week period. That 2-week period, people did not understand what we were doing. If you are outside of these mining communities, you see things differently. When you get closer, you realize that these illegal miners have the court of public opinion and the community support of the immediate community before the forest reserve or the water body. Because they are either posing as providing job opportunities for the youth and rallying them around to support them with whatever they are doing. So we needed to do a bit of stakeholder engagement to be able to, one, win the sort of public opinion on our side and be able to get them to own the fight against the illegal mining and also let them understand the alternatives we are providing for them. So we spent time doing this and made them understand the options we are making available for them through the cooperative mining scheme from the Lands Ministry. And now, with that supervision, we are able to get their support to move all the illegal miners from the forest reserves. So after that 2-week period, we got people who moved out on their own accord. Others were also proven stubborn. So those who were proven stubborn, we entered one of the forests on the Ofin Shelter Belt Forest Reserve, and we've been able to move all of them out. You know, we arrested 2 Chinese, and then we picked 15 excavators. There's 14 excavators and 1 bulldozer. And so basically that is it. We want to use that site as a model field for reclamation. So the Land Minister is launching a Tree for Life project. That Tree for Life project would have Ashanti as their pilot field. Once we reclaim the land, plant the trees there, and then follow through to see how we are able to compare before and after. Then gradually, one at a time, we would take over all the other forest reserves and see how best we can reclaim things. While doing that, those who are mining on legal concessions, we want to be strict with supervision. Say that with every acre you mine, we expect to make sure that you have reclaimed the lands that you mine from, so that they don't leave it behind pits that destroy the land, even though those lands are not in the forest or by the riverside. So basically, these are the issues, and this is how we are approaching it.
Very interesting. You said you found, did you say 14 excavators in one forest?
Okay, so it's a forest belt. It's a stretch.
Okay.
It's a huge stretch. So there are 3 separate areas where the illegal miners have taken over, all the way from the Ofin Shelter Belt all through Adobera area. So all these areas together is the 15 excavators, 14 excavators and the 1 grader.
I see. There must be a lot of work going on there before you entered.
A lot. And you see, they've been there for years. So it's not a damage of an overnight mining activities. And most of the people, it looked like they had some series of arrangements with the past government. But we don't care whichever arrangement they had with them. All we need is that hands of our forests, hands of our river bodies.
What happened to the excavators?
So the excavators, we've taken inventory of their chassis numbers, their pins, and all the other details we need. They will be used as evidence for the court hearing process. Once the court hearing processes are over, we have the direction of the president not to burn them, not to damage them, but to reallocate them for community road improvement program, the DRIP, stock and add them to them so that they can be used for community road improvement and sanitation issues within the community. So we did not damage any of the excavators. They are all in good condition. One of them had a problem with the chain that moves the excavator. It tore apart. So we sending people to go and fix it so that we can bring it from the forest to add to what we have at the police station. I got wind of two others that were stuck in the mud. So we find ways how we can bring it out of the pits and then add them to the stock we have. Once the whole process is over, we will reallocate them to the district assemblies so that we can put them to good use.
Well, then you're talking about, and you talk about supervision, because one of the things that has happened usually is that after this kind of invasions, you usually leave the forest bare. There's nobody watching. You find people who go back in there. So what are you doing to ensure that this does not happen again? Okay, so we'll get Doc back on the line, conclude this conversation with him on what he's doing. Specific steps that is outlined as to what they've done. They said there's a forest, the Ofinso Belt, and they've been able to at least enter that particular forest, seize all the excavators, arrest the perpetrators, including 2 Chinese nationals who were involved. He says the plan is to, at least this excavators, 14 of them in total, and then 1 grader. The plan is to put them in the drip ultimately, but first they must be used as evidence against the perpetrators that were arrested. Doc, thank you very much. You're explaining to us how you are ensuring that this forest is not entered again.
Yes, so we're really on board forest and river guards. And as a task force that will have a blend of the forestry commission, the forestry forces, and also we do some recruitment from the communities nearby the forest. So they will ultimately have the responsibility of making sure that the place is kept and kept well from these illegal miners from re-entering. And periodically too, there will be operations and patrols to move through these areas to make sure that the guards are doing what is expected of them. They will definitely be remunerated by government, and with that, we can have that leverage to fire and also prosecute if any of these guards are found to be culprits in this whole process. So basically, these are the issues we are putting in place to make sure that the areas that we have taken over, we do not lose control over them subsequently.
And fantastic to see that collaboration with you as regional minister. And how would you be running this? Because these are local level issues. Regional minister in Kumasi, how would you ensure that what you're doing on the ground succeeds?
Thank you. So just as the lands minister had to fall on me for some of these collaborations to get the work done. And thanks to him, and also the interior minister and then the defense minister, Dr. Mani Boama and Honorable Muntaka, they were all critical in this whole process. They visited the region, I think, 2 weeks ago. No, 2 weeks ago, sorry. And we had a holistic discussion about all these issues and the need to get all 3 of them on board, lands, interior, and in defense. And thankfully, with their guidance and support, we've been able to take over this key forest of the offing. As regional minister, I have jurisdiction over the entire region, but as you clearly mentioned, I'll fall on the MMDCs who are yet to be appointed. I'm sure they'll be appointed very soon to make sure at the local level they keep a close eye on this whole process. And definitely, as regional minister, I would be frequent on the field so that I'll be able to pick the issues up and then address them promptly. So with that collaboration with the MMDCs and our traditional leaders, we should be able to sustain this fight.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Doc, for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah. Dr. Frank Amwako, is Ashanti Regional Minister, clear steps that they're taking to deal with the issue of galamsey illegal mining, responsible mining. In fact, there are many forms of it. For example, he's talking about even the supervision of the mining license. So I've given you a license. I'm sure it is as far away from a river body as possible, as far away from a forest as possible. How do I ensure that you're staying within the area that I've demarcated for you? He says that type of supervision will be one that they will prioritize. And so I guess you've heard him. You can share your thoughts with us. If you're on Facebook, do share your thoughts with us on Facebook. You can send a message to 0599922922. Clear steps. And of course, these are early days here to be and SM.
Yeah. Minister Bayano or Yadi. Empire Bonnie say, Obitimi Akoswana.
And for 4 years.
Why you mad? And yes, more job.
For 4 years, he has because we're constantly on there.
Who jam Kakrebi Peno?
They have time.
Who jam Kakrebi?
They have time.
They have time. Said in Rana, Cassette Bay say, I think 9 of our forest reserves.
Yeah.
Oma Jaboswa.
Yeah. He said 3 of those forest reserves are in Ashanti region. One of them is the one that they entered and were able to successfully drive out the miners.
So you can that is offensive shelter belt forest reserves.
Yes.
So you know, ono we Emmanuel Makofibua. Duma de wo bi papa. Yang kan kire wan ye dada o. Duma de wonim ne so. Ai but Nyankopon no mbo na omo ahoden ani tumi a woni asrafo ne me only abambofo betimi ade ben abodwuma and unso kwa santimantem so a Dr. Frank Amwako hene ono so
yes
obon homode unse minister ko nyina ono ne dini dia
so it was Doc that we were speaking to Dr. Frank Amwako yes
obon homode ye pantino Dr. Frank Amwako hene so yabo abaso koso na yedwumaden asantimantem de unim hopa asante Amwako hene.
Okay. I thought you were saying me. I don't know. I've only been a small part of
I
don't know where. I intend to take the job and see. No, even how I cry, you only know how small. Not well. Not as much as my friend, the freshman.
So, maybe I know Boku. So,
after that play, I look at that very well. In fact, on that stretch from all the way, I will not go back. All the way from Anglogan through to Keta.
Oh,
even moving towards even Aplau area. That one I know.
Oh, so you know, Galamsi is an illegal minus no more hard pa. The one. Akondie no mukita no.
Yes.
Etuo na de ade omomo wo no.
Oh yes. You expect a lot of that.
You know,
you expect a lot of that.
Ebutu masia obebre.
Like I will ask our sense. You have to see it as a declaration of war. It's a declaration of war. Else you won't be able to fight it successfully and win.
And we jump so asena.
Because they will fight. Yeah. They will take you on. They will fire at you. They will test you. You must show that you are able to stand up to them.
And say about the number of people are illegal miners. Galamsey for you have no idea.
You never hear about.
When they get you,
yes. So there's a need to tackle it.
Yeah.
And tackle it radically.
And just small job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Busuane say illegal miners. Galamsey for ISCC no womono shatawale nyumo mboma Ghana dihye nyina ne wiase afa ne nyina taking over no ai woma fasa nwom no ena Ghana yekwaya huru bebre na they have taken over and they are showing guy sa ente honorable Emmanuel Amakofibua ene Asante Mantem so kopiemu a Ashanti Regional Minister.
Before you continue, there's if not I'll forget.
Okay.
Today is the birthday. Of the acting chief executive of MPA.
Oh, no, one make us
yeah, that's why I wanted to.
My colleague who is learning.
Yes, Godwin Edu Kujo Tamakulu.
What a wow!
Godwin Edu Kujo Tamakulu.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, you know when you ask people, we want to help you employ you. Where do you want to go?
MPA.
So interesting how people are obsessed with certain types of employment. But
happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to you, lawyer Dujita.
A man who takes his job seriously, doesn't joke with it.
Yeah,
we'll be on the ground together.
And anytime we are available, be a friend or
he's a big friend of this station.
Anytime, yes. You know, lawyer, happy birthday.
And today is also the birthday of Doc. I think he's now Prof. Justice Moses Aheto. We haven't had him in studio in a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So happy birthday to you, Prof.
To you too, Prof.
And S. Jehuapia. Dr. Jehuapia also celebrates his birthday
Doctor.
today. Yes. So they are, and Doc, I haven't heard Doc's name yet. The list have come.
Yeah.
I haven't seen his
still
name in
coming.
the list. The list keep coming, Doc.